Welcome to Panicking Mannequin. Today we're looking at lab OSCE number 3. This one focuses on your ability to accurately make a PCV sample, set up the centrifuge, and use the Hawksley reader. Let's head to the clinic. The examiner will be looking to see that you wear the correct PPE, select and invert the blood sample, make 2 PCV samples, correctly set up the centrifuge and state its settings, correctly use the Hawksley reading, both verbalise and record the results, and correctly dispose of waste. Okay, so again, start with our PPE. Apron on and tied. And then gloves. We can then select our sample. So we're going to go for the EDTA and we're going to just gently invert that. We need to select the correct hematocrit tube. So we want the plain one. And we're going to make 2 of these. There we go. So, first one, pop that in. Tilt it a little bit until that reaches 3/4 of the way. There we go. Pop our finger over the end. Blood tube back down and tissue. We're going to wipe that off before it goes into the clay. Then into the clay. We can set that aside. Second one. I'm going to try and match roughly the same height, so 3/4. Here we go, cover the end. Set down our blood tube, wipe away, and then pop into the clay. Nice. Right, get rid of that into the clinical waste straight away. Pop the lid on our blood tube. If you've got any blood on your gloves, this is the time to change them. So take them off into clinical or hazardous waste, whatever they've given you. Fresh gloves. So we're going to pop these into the centrifuge. I'm going to open the lid and undo the guard. I'm placing the tubes opposite each other so that they're balanced. And the clay is going to the outside so I don't lose my sample. I'm re-securing the guard and ensuring the settings are 10,000 RPM for 5 minutes. So that we don't have to wait for the entire 5 minutes for that to spin, they're going to give us a pre-prepared one. So then we want our red blood cells at the bottom to intersect with that baseline. We're going to slide this along so that the final bit of the plasma intersects with that line. And then we're going to move this slider here until that line intersects with the top of the red blood cells. So that is giving me a reading of, I would say, 38%. We can then discard of our sharp and we can get rid of our Hawksley reader, take off our gloves and our apron, pop them into the clinical waste and then head over to our hospital chart where we're going to record the date. So it's the 29th of the 2nd, 26, and the time is 14:05. The patient is Fluffy Jones. And the result was 38%, and my initials. So we verbalised it and we've written that down. As long as everything's clean and tidy and in the right bins, that's the end of the task. Let's take a look at what the most common fails are and the easiest traps to fall into. Selecting something other than the EDTA sample, selecting the heparinized hematocrit tubes. Contaminating the area with blood. So that means your gloves, the clay, your pen, the table, anything. Not balancing the centrifuge or not placing the clay to the outside, not stating the centrifuge settings of 10,000 RPM for 5 minutes, not stating percent as your unit, not getting rid of your PPE in the clinical or hazardous waste, or not getting rid of your sharps right away, leaving the hematocrit tubes standing up in the blood sample tube, including the buffy coat in your PCV reading. The middle line should go to the top of the red blood cells, not standing directly over the reader to ensure accurate interpretation. Remember, the instructions are on the back of the Hawksley reader if you do forget or you're having a bit of a worry. Thank you for joining me as we turn panic into peace. Remember, you can come back to this video anytime for a quick refresher. And if you think others might benefit from this as well, then subscribe, like, comment, or share to help spread the word.